have a most talented person up here, Madhulika.
For me, art is very personal to me. My relation with arts was initially as an escape because I couldn't get myself to study at home. We would always see adults being drawn towards the spiritual end as they start growing older.
Because I feel like they don't know what to do. So how did you find about the concept of adult education?
There was something like adult education or lifelong learning, which is almost the same thing.
Masters in education, like I feel like
Yeah.
99.9% of people don't even know there is a called masters in education. Like
I think there are a lot of people who do it,
Is it?
but I don't know if they would come all the way to do it. The biggest victories are sometimes in the smallest incidents, and one of those were at work where I had one of the clients who came in.
beauty is not about you being a model. You can be an artist and you still be beautiful.
It's about perspective, like any other thing, but it's also about how you would take it. I do think I am a good singer, but people around me happen to say that I'm not, and I don't
Do
agree.
you like to sing up here so the
No.
audience can judge on that? It's like- Welcome to Decode Success, 100 Business Owners, 100 Lessons. I'm your host, Lakshay and we have a most talented person up here, Madhulika. She'll introduce herself.
Well, hi.
Just feel
Thank
free
you
to
for
give-
saying talented. It's a big word. Sometimes it gets overwhelming. But hi, my name's Madhulika, and I came to Canada as an immigrant student, and I just graduated, and now I'm on my path to working full time. So it's been a bit of a journey.
We will discuss about your path soon, but like, yeah, as I always do, I'll start with you as an icebreaker as well. Like, tell if you want to share any fun incident that happened in your life.
Oh, there have been couple. Um, But something which was fun and a bit fulfilling was when I moved to Canada, or let's say, go back to India and made the decision of making that big move with no plans as such, but all just thinking that let's just take this by the day and see how it goes. And then coming here and getting my mom over in Canada in that journey and getting her to explore the city. And it was something that was a first. My mom's not been outside. It was like a little win for me, but I think I've not had as much fun in my life as I did when she was here. And I got that opportunity of just living life with her.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was
Yeah,
fun.
it's always good to make your parents explore other stuff
Yeah.
around. So, okay, so let's start with our very first question for you. Can you tell us about your journey? How did you move from the program to management to community engagement and using your arts as a medium to community building?
Sure. Um, so before moving to Canada, I was working with nonprofits back in Delhi, and it was kind of broad. So we would work on multiple projects for children, for youth, for elderly. But as I was doing my work there, I realized I wanted to develop curriculums. That time for children. But that kind of paved my path for doing another master's in Canada. And so I made that move of coming to Canada to pursue a master's in education in lifelong learning. And that was specific to adult education. Now, my idea was to teach kids and develop curriculum for them, but it somehow happened that I started enjoying learning about how we can teach adults. Being an adult myself, there was a lot of unlearning that was happening. But at the same time, I was continuing to work in community spaces. So I would make sure that I keep myself engaged with not just the community restricted to my academia, but outside of it. So culturally or with my arts. So I made sure that by small events, if I got a small gig at a festival, I would go there and share some insights or do a performance or help them with their projects. And that, yeah.
So, what do you like? like you said, you usually do non-profits. So like, how do you want to elaborate about that? Like,
Yep.
what non-profits you're looking to do, and like you said, adult education. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you trying to like teach people about?
Yes. So nonprofits essentially work, it's a broad term, and they work in diverse spaces. I have worked with children, but adult education was something that was a new concept for me. I never knew we could teach adults, or even the fact that adults need to be educated, because learning, conventionally is said to end after your college days. But it's not like that. It's only when I got the experience of working in my previous organization, but also right now where I'm working, we I understood that learning gets beyond your age, so it's lifelong, and there are many programs that can be developed to educate adults around it. Sometimes we forget that we're always curious learners, and sometimes it may get overshadowed, or we may not acknowledge that we're curious learners. So programs with arts, or programs for recreation, through recreational programs, adults can realize that they can keep on learning new things. I still have some of my clients that come in at my workplace, and they are all 60 plus, and they are learning different kinds of things at this age. Some are learning to do poetry, some are learning some art of another sort, or somebody is learning music. So I think, yeah, that's
I think like adult education is like, I also never knew about that term earlier before. Like I just talked with you, but I feel like that is actually a big problem because like, as even being in India, like we know our parents after a certain age, they're like they are not interested in learning anything, or
yeah,
they're like that's not our age anymore, or otherwise. Like I was also feel like learning in like our culture or in India, I would say not in
yes,
culture but in India, is seen as something very like pushed on students
oh
because they
yeah,
have to learn.
hmm,
But it's yeah, I agree with you. Is like learning is not always about learning from the books or like
yes,
learning just scientific equation. Learning can be learning some arts, right?
yeah,
Because people like now I feel like the arts is growing in India, but earlier like yeah, it was a thing where people don't want to grow in arts because
hmm,
that is not considered learning. Learning is when you learn in science or maybe doctorate, and that's
yeah,
the stuff. And I feel like yeah, I definitely agree that adult learning is definitely should be a thing, and it is a thing that I got to know today. And
hmm,
I should feel like yeah, like all of our parents, even if like they are like pretty much done with their jobs and like they want to chill, but like they can always learn some few activities, find some new hobbies that they love doing as a their child,
yeah,
but they can't do it like once they got married
just
and come busy
because,
in their life.
hmm,
It's like they could have explored those factors even after like getting old. Like I won't say old, but like I mean like being adults, they can
yes,
still explore it. But people feel like, oh, our age is past it.
or
Like
there's
there
no
is
need
no
for
need for
it.
that. Yeah, but there is sometimes not need, but like sometimes it's passion or maybe
Hmm,
you just feel happy about doing those things and you should do those
yeah,
things. And
like how in our culture, back in India, we would always see adults being drawn towards the spiritual end as they start growing older. So you'll find them in a lot of temples doing a lot of, the cultural element, the traditional element, which is great, and that's another beautiful aspect of our culture. But why is it that we would always club them?
because I feel like they don't know what to do. Like the only thing they know is that we are
Yeah,
old, so we can go to them. But like because I feel like they also want to do those things to find peace. But I
right.
feel like actually people can find peace in the hobbies that they used to do, which they are not able
Mm-hmm.
to do anymore. And accept that. So what arts you are passionate about and you feel like you want to teach to people?
Oh my God. I'm not crying. It's just, it's not the question
But
making me cry. So,
it's
no, for me, art is very personal to me, as it would be for many of us. But my relation with arts was initially as an escape, because I couldn't get myself to study at home, and I needed to do something productive, or else my mom that time would, yeah, my mom used to be a teacher, and a strict one, so she would either want me to train into something professionally or study. And as I was growing up, I found music and dancing to be really cool. and also a space where I could explore myself. So I had these small little competitions that I would go to in my school time and just explore. Sometimes I was really bad, and I know that for a fact. But I think that was a learning journey for
Le-
me to kind of figure out what direction I wanted to go in. And I'm still figuring that out.
And
Yeah.
even like I can relate with you as well because my mom was a teacher too, and
There
she
we
used
go.
to teach math, and I would say yeah, like a teacher and a strict
Yes,
teacher. So
yeah, she
yeah,
would be with like not a stick, but like a
can't say
verbal
that,
stick.
otherwise you will get bitten after the
Yeah,
podcast.
no,
I would
no.
say
I
so.
said, but good, I said good things about her in the beginning.
Yeah,
Not
but
messy.
no, like I definitely agree. But then again, that's what I'm saying now, where they're actually at a time when they have free time is
Yeah.
like. So how did you find about the concept of adult education? Like, what
Oh.
made you go into that field and explore that around?
It was my course that I took over here. So I
Ah,
did my Masters of Education in Lifelong Learning from the Mount over here. And I just wanted a degree in education, to be honest. I didn't know there was something like adult education or lifelong learning, which is almost the same thing
being
that
honest, like to
exists.
stop you, but like that
Yeah,
is also like something I would say new for like someone from our country to do is like
right.
masters in education. Like I feel like
Yeah.
99.9% of people don't even know there is a called masters in education. Like,
I think there are a lot of people who do it,
is
but
it?
I don't know if they would come all the way to do it. To
Like
be
that's
honest, I'm not sure because I know a lot of my friends who are from the development sector, from the social sciences. They would do international relations, peace and conflict, and gender. And I wanted to do gender spaces, but I didn't get it, and I just thought that the
but
next best option.
like something happens for good and then you actually
Yes.
got connected what
Yes.
you
And I
loved to
loved
do.
that. Yeah, I loved the course. I think it triggered me in ways that I didn't think existed. It pushed me to think about education beyond the conventional sense, but also I found myself creating things which were very surreal. Like I didn't know that something like an art installation existed, and and I'd heard about it. Like there are art installation things in a museum. I'd read about it in
What's
books.
that?
So
I might even still not know about
yeah,
it.
so art installation projects are basically um, a static project, and that has used some art, and it has a metaphorical representation in it. So to give you an example, there is this project that I did in school, which was intergenerational dancing, and to represent that I had made I and along with my friend Laurel, we collaborated on this project and made different floors. So there was cement, there was wood, there was grass, there was different kinds of flooring at the base of it, and on top of those floorings were different sizes shoes, and they were men and women shoes, and also different shoes of like different dance styles. So I had like ballet shoes, and then I had sneakers to represent the diversity in dancing. The shoe sizes were representing the intergenerational element. So there are young people who can dance, there are older people who
Oh,
can dance. So that's why the different sizes. And at the foundation was the different flooring to represent that you can dance anywhere.
oh,
So the
that
grass,
is so deep,
yeah.
like so much deep. Because
So
when you started, I was like, so now I get it. Is like what actually arts mean by having a hidden meaning is
yeah.
that's what the message you were trying to
It was
convey,
fun,
and
and I
it's
didn't know that it was an art installation. I didn't know it was called that until I presented it in my class, and my professor said, "You need to." You know what you did here, right? And this is an art installation. And
and you
she
were
gave
like
me an article to read more about it. And since then, yeah,
that is like
that was
really
interesting.
amazing to know about like how you can represent things by art. Like we all knew about it, but
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes we don't even recognize that what they are trying to convey. But
Right.
that is like a very sweet message to convey. It's like if you want to dance, just dance anywhere. Don't even
Anywhere.
think of a particular space or a particular age. And yeah,
Yes.
and like in adult education, people who loved dancing maybe in their younger time, like they
Mm-hmm.
can actually dance.
Yes.
And no, that is amazing. So what is like So you are currently working as an active
leader.
living leader at a YMCA, designing programs that focus on helping newcomers settle and build community. So
Yeah.
like, do you want to like put some shadow on that, like light on that, as like what you are trying to do
Yeah,
over there?
sure. So I recently joined this role, and I'm very grateful because it was something I was really looking forward to for a long time. Um, YMCA is pretty big, all across the world. One of the departments that I work in is the active living department, which is essentially an extended wing within the YMCA office of the immigrant programs, which is in Beers Road. And one of the departments is active living that works around newcomers and older adults. So we make programs and activities for them to kind of help them settle in, or if they have any concerns regarding their settlement in Canada or their settlement within the community of Canada, because we're all immigrants. I'm an immigrant. I understand that it's not easy sorry, for one to kind of mix in with the crowd. So there are a lot of apprehensions that come in from the immigrant families as well, which I can relate to. So one of my jobs essentially is to kind of have that common grounding, and that common grounding is usually done through programs and activities. So I still teach English to newcomers who are interested in learning the language, or they want it for their their stay over here, or just because they're passionate about learning about the culture. Then we also have this active living group, which is the older adults, and they're the most beautiful bunch that I've come across because they are more active than me. So sometimes when I see them,
Uh,
and I'm just drained early in the morning at
uh,
9:30. I don't know why though, but they are there and they bring in the energy and they make me feel so alive. So we do a lot of outings with them. We would take them to different places. We will explore Nova Scotia, give them that opportunity of getting into the crowd outside in Halifax. And I think that's really important, because some of them have been here for a very long time, but have spent a lot of their time living in Canada at home, or just being around their vicinity and doing their business. So this was great because now they are having this opportunity to make new friends from different countries, and it's a great multicultural setup. We love learning about each other. I have people from Afghanistan and from Ukraine, from Congo, Kenya, and yeah, it's
that's
yeah.
amazing. Like that's really good. So like, is there any like you guys charge them like a subscription fees
No,
or
no,
something is like just the
no.
free and
YMCA is a charity organization, so they just have to be. I think they have to live here for a bit long. They have to be PR, and they can use the services for
okay.
free.
That
Yeah.
that's amazing. Like where actually people can grow and connect.
Yes.
How do these activities foster wellness and community connection? Like how do you feel like people can connect and how more people can join and like what I get it like the people who are coming over there they have the knowledge of adult education, but like how do you
Not
feel
really, though. Yeah, but
like
yes, I
so what do you feel
understand
like
that.
will be the best way to like get the community connection and like get this thing out more to the people so
Yeah.
like
I think it's a lot of self effort that needs to be pushed. But if you're talking about essentially the older adults, I feel some of the like I can speak for my parents. They're both 60 plus right now.
yeah.
And I've seen them getting comfortable and way too comfortable in their, after their retirement age. So and in that too comfortableness, it can get bad because there is no purpose, or there's less purpose, or there's not a lot that you're looking forward to.
And I
But
feel
yeah.
like I can agree on that very much because like my grandfather was like 80 like 84, 85. Like when I lost him and like literally like he was so active like till the like very last like even he was like 78, 79, like he got his like shoulder dislocations and a lot of, he was like still more active. Like he was literally
Wow.
that much active that he had like so many injuries. Like
Yeah.
he had his like completely like shoulder like popped out, completely dislocated, but he was still so much active after that. He has no pain. Like my
Mm-hmm.
brother got once and he still feel that pain for that, but like
Mm-hmm.
he was so active. Like he used to tell me like give me the like the more like aggressive massages you can do, and like do like he didn't feel any pain, and I was
Yeah.
like in like my age, like
Mm-hmm.
literally like don't have that much energy that he had at his age. And
I do think that's true because when I also think about my grandparents, it was a similar story. But I don't know. I feel like my parents, maybe it's my parents or a couple of their friends and their family members that I see, um, they are trying to be active. So they'll, do meditation, yoga to fill in that void or whatever that space is. But I feel like there's nothing done more than that. And it's important that they step out, not just, yes, physical fitness is important, but also is your mental health. And in order to do that, you need to kind of step out and keep having more conversations, different kind of topics, engage yourself, listen to different kinds of music, watch performances. Like I've got my parents to enroll for concerts and buy tickets for concerts and enroll for seminars, because I feel that kind of experience should not stop. So for
exactly.
anyone who is like my parents age 60 and up, I always, and I wish and I hope that they do make that effort of exploring more options, even if time doesn't permit. Like everyone can spare like 2 hours in a week or whatever.
So I would love if you do you have any share story where you actually feel like a person like who joined the like adult education and they actually liked it by like, or there is any change in their life that happened after
Yeah.
joining the adult education, like how do you?
Yeah. I'm still on my journey of exploring this more. So I will not have like big victory stories, but I do find the biggest victories are sometimes in the smallest incidents. And one of those were at work where I had one of the clients who came in, but doesn't speak English. It's not their first language. And there was a bit of lack of community connection. Um, but we have a very active group of volunteers and interpreters. So they kind of helped her bring back. But then there was inconsistency. Like she would come in for one session, but not for the others. And then, that would keep going. Um, but it's important that we identify this crowd. And it's important that we have that individual one on one attention. So I kind of spotted that and I reached out to her personally, and I just had a conversation with her with an interpreter because I didn't understand her language and she didn't understand mine.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful because,
Have,
like the interpreter was translating what I was sharing.
yeah.
And she's like, oh, and it was something on the lines that I want you to come for every sessions because and I said it in a very personalized way, not to sound fake, but just that I wanted her to come more because I would look forward to having her in my sessions. And that's all that I said. I thought, what else could I do? I could just try and ask her. And she started coming for every session after that. And she's been very consistent all throughout. So I feel like that small change, behavioral change, you can't predict. You'll just have to keep trying and seeing. And hopefully, if I continue this journey, which I hope I do, but in the adult education space, that I would be able to make some change. But if not, then I mean, it's worth a try.
Yeah, but no, it's definitely good. Like because even if it was an interpreter, you wanted to give your personalized touch, and she liked it, and she actually is coming in. That is actually a big change to give it up. But yeah, after that, like another like first of all, like congratulations on your winning the Miss South Asian pageant that happened in Halifax, and that was a big achievement. I feel that.
It
Do
was,
you
yeah.
want to share your experience about over there? How did you felt after winning, and what changed, what not?
Yes. change of
Getting a
change of
big
how I
crowd.
would share information now. No, it was surreal. It was not something I was expecting. The opportunity also came in very. I mean, I didn't intend for it to happen. Let me say that it just came through a friend of mine, and whom I met just like couple months back. But they knew that I would do something or I would like to be on stage in some form or the other. Like they kind of identified that. And they would keep pushing me. You should do, like events for cultural things and all of that. Or, oh, hey, there's this pageant happening and I think you'd be a great fit. And this is a car conversation. And I laughed so hard. I said, you think somebody who is 5 feet could enter a pageant?
I definitely.
Which is true because in my head, I'd never thought of a pageant. I'd never seen that happen. So it was nothing I could imagine. And they said, no, it's very serious. And I mean, this is an event for real and you should give it a shot because you miss performing. I said, yes, that's true. I do miss performing. And
You're doing what?
performing on stage. So I was missing that for over like
Oh,
2 years.
misperforming on the
Yeah,
stage.
yeah.
Okay,
So
got.
I wanted to perform on
So
stage.
basically, you just wanted to perform on the
That
stage.
was one of my first big motivating factors.
Uh,
And then I got into like what this deal was. And I did couple of their trainings. And I honestly, even till the day of the training, I think the first training, I said, okay, I think I've got it.
but yeah, I definitely. But that was the funniest part. You were like, why would a 5 feet would go into
Yeah,
a
I've
beauty
never heard of
competition?
it.
But like, I get it. Like with the beauty competitions or like pageant competitions, people have very much mindset as like you
Yeah.
need to be a very like a model, being into a fashion
Mm-hmm.
industry and stuff like that. But after like actually you winning over there, you can say that it's all beauty is not about you being a model. You can be an artist and you still be beauty. So
Yes,
like,
and I'm glad that I got this opportunity because it was I was also unlearning a lot of things in my head. I had a perspective about how the pageants work and how the industry is, but it's only when you enter it and you speak to people in the space that you understand that it's about perspective like any other thing, but it's also about how you would take it, so and how you would utilize that space. So I'm still trying to explore the opportunities and everything, but it was definitely one of the biggest challenges that I've had in Canada, personally, because I saw this as an opportunity, but I also saw like how else can I add it to my profile, my personality, and
so what do you feel about like after being over there? Like you learned from there, or like what changed in you after being in the like pageant show and winning that?
yeah, it's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
I
So
mean, if you think it's just about having the right clothes, the right cost, the right makeup, or whatever, it is a part of it, but a lot also has to go behind the scene, behind what you're carrying and how you're representing. Anybody can carry a sari, especially an Indian girl. Anyone can carry a sari, but how you represent yourself wearing that sari in front of an audience and how you convey your story with them is more important. So something I did was I am very proud of the multicultural background that we have in India. Originally, my parents are from Kashmir. I'm from a Kashmiri Pandit family, but I've lived all my life in Delhi. Um, and there was a little bit of a miss between my culture because I never grew up in Kashmir because of the insurgency. So I didn't have that much, but whatever I could get was from my parents through the language, through the meals, and the traditions. So I wanted to carry that essence. So I made sure that when I'm doing my introduction round and I'm wearing my sari, I wanted to be multicolored. So I wore a multicolored sari to represent the multiculturalism. and talk about the diversity.
And also, I did saw a post where like you had some blindfold on your eyes and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. I do want to know about like what was that performance about, and like what was that like? Did you do the dance over there? Because I only remember seeing a post that where you had a blindfolded and there was a
Yes.
dance performance that's supposed to happen. So what was that?
Yeah. Yeah, the blindfold makes me look like that lady with the blindfold in the coat. But no, it was a dance performance. I knew if there would be a talent round, I would want to do something related to dance. I was just dying for the stage. Um, but I wanted to add another layer to it. I wanted to add a little bit of story. We only had a short time frame, so I couldn't add my vision, what I wanted. But yes, here and there with my storytelling of my journey of diversity, I tried to adapt that. But I used the blindfold to kind of tell the audience of how I was in a blur, not knowing what this beautiful performative arts could do in my life. And as I take the blindfold off, I kind of express that and explore the performance, the dance performance. So
That
that was the storyline for having that blindfold and removing it.
so you danced with the
I
blindfold for a
did. I
that is
danced
that
for
is
that
great.
first intro part of my routine, and after that, the music which was played was not the one I intended. So the later half was all impromptu.
So basically, they played some random
No,
song.
no, it was my edit, but it was my first edit, and I did not prepare for that.
Ah,
So even the first half, when it happened, I said something feels off, but yeah, I think you just roll with it.
but it played. So yeah, but then you did well, and then here's you
Thank
win,
you.
and congratulations to that
Thank
as
you so
like.
much.
And so, what do you feel that actually like because you were more who wanted to explore arts, dance, and this is something that you end up going to, and then you actually won it. Like, what do you feel that like that changed for you after the competition, being a winner of?
Yeah, I definitely think I've become more proactive. I was lazy back before that. I do have my lazy moments now, but I feel like every event in your life is either like a lesson or part of your journey. So I think this was a great learning experience to tell me how clear my vision needs to be now. And I don't mean to sound profound or anything. I'm not, obviously, but it's my learning journey and I can only share from my perspective. And it is the fact that if this happened, and it gave me the boost, it gave me the confidence to think of my capabilities and putting it out there. I really want to start my dance academy at some point. And I want to see not just a certain section of dancers, but a mixed group, because I want to create that learning
So you
atmosphere.
wanted to create a like a dance class where actually it's like more of adult education and a
Yeah,
dance
I want
class.
to essentially merge my
Merge.
education and my arts,
That is an amazing thing to do
hopefully.
as well. I have seen that you are doing some dances on the Halifax waterfront and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So like how we are finding so far, and is it your own
Yes.
like classes that you are doing, or is it something like with YMCA that you are doing,
No.
or like how's that working
It's
out?
all independent for now. I would be open to collaborations. I would love meeting more artists because that's the only way to grow in this field, I feel. But Waterfront just happens to be an open space where I wanted to bring my learners out there and express art in the open without any hesitation from the crowd and any distraction, because that can be a factor. But honestly, the people who've come for my classes, they've all been super nice, and there is hesitation in the beginning, but the process is nice to sort of let them out and get into the groove of it. And once you play the music, anybody would dance.
So how do you
Yeah.
find like response from the people after you started that the dance thing on the waterfront? Like, do you feel like people are actually like coming up for that? They're showing, or
Yeah.
like, what do you feel about that?
Um, yes, I mean, there are people who've reached out, and they really want to learn the art form, a specific dance style. There were people at Waterfront who randomly came in, and we were playing Toba Toba that time. We were doing a choreography on that, and they're like, "Hey, that music sounds nice, but your dancing sound looks very Western. How did you do that?" I said,
So
Fusion.
what's your basic dance style? Like what's the
Uh,
niche that you perform the dance?
so I love doing freestyle. There's Bollywood. I love contemporary. I love jazz. These are some of the dance styles that I have trained myself in back from home. Still learning. There's a lot to learn in these dance styles, but essentially a little bit of hip hop here and there, but freestyle altogether.
Freestyle
Yeah.
altogether.
So I feel the way the music would make you move is.
So now I feel like people know whom to go to if they want to learn some dance at the waterfront. Like we have
Or at
Madhulika.
House of Fates.
What was that?
Or at House of Fates. The classes are.
House of Aids is also she's gonna be there, and Madhulika, like you can reach out to her if you're actually learning to do some like dance, and also if you're looking to grow in like the adult education, and if you have free time, just reach out to her.
Yeah.
But except that, like, and I also feel like that is good that you once took participation in the the Miss South Asian event, and I feel like you do need a boost, and that crowns give you the boost. I feel like after
Yes.
seeing that, like
Mhm.
with you every day, you can actually feel the weight of that. Now you are someone and something that you
Well,
need to
not
push
so
your.
much about being like that, or but like also just the fact that it's nice to enter that space and that community and get to know people who have been through your journey. So the queen, the winner from last year, Vaishali, it's nice to interact with her and see how her journey looks like and how she kind of grew from there. And also it gives you perspective. Like I said, I thought about it in a way, and now I think about it
In
in
a
a
different
different
way.
way. So it's only when you start having those conversations, which is why it's important that you surround yourself with people from different interest groups so that you're, more curious to learn more. So
No, that's definitely good, and yeah, that things happen and that changes your perspective, and that's the best thing. Like you learn something from them.
yeah.
But okay, let's start like with the fun round. It's been a long conversation that we had. We
Oh,
need to have
we
some
have a
quick
fun
fire
round?
questions for you. Yes, we do
Okay.
have it. It's a quick fire questions. I'm gonna ask you some
Yeah.
questions. Just reply it with the first thing that comes in your mind after hearing those.
Oh my God.
Okay? So
Be
there we
ready.
go. Here's my first question comes in for you. If you could collaborate with any artist in the world, who would it be for you?
Jojo Gomez. She's a dancer, choreographer. Um, one of the first one of the first choreographers that I saw on YouTube on virtual platform, and I was blown. And at that time, I felt like my body style and her body style is very similar, but it wasn't. It was just in my head. But yes, if ever, I would love to do like I would love to even learn from her.
I,
But if a collaboration opportunity is given, I would love to do a dance
I
performance.
feel like sometimes happen is like you feel like you're singing the best once you
Yeah,
record the audio and you listen it is
yeah,
like nah.
yeah. That's true. Yeah.
But no, like that'll be amazing. Well, my another question would be for you is what's your go-to activity to unwind after a long day of maybe a community work or maybe like your classes?
Yeah, I think a quick nap is always great. To
That
be
is very
real,
generic, but
to
very
be real,
generic.
it's nice to just take a nap. But also, if I'm not in the mood for taking a nap, I like to connect with my friends from back home. I think that's a great de-stress because it just brings me back to where I actually am from, where I come from, and it's nice to relive those experiences. Those are the conversations that I have at this age with my friends. Do you remember in 2015 we went there? I was like, yeah, it was fun.
So like any fun fact about you that people don't know yet and you would like to share up here?
Fun fact, I don't know.
Maybe a fun fact or a hidden talent or something that people don't know.
Oh, a hidden talent. I do think I am a good singer, but people around me happen to say that I'm not, and I don't
Would you
agree.
like to sing up here so the
No.
audience can judge on that? It's like
No, I'm not that confident. I need to enter a competition and win it to get the
so now
confidence.
we know that another competition to push you in a
Yeah, that could
random car.
motivate me.
So yeah, in a random car like conversation, another conversation you're gonna go into is the singing.
Yes, that's right.
So
Any Nova Scotia singing competitions out there, I'll
so
apply.
people, if you know like any singing competition coming her, I'm gonna tag her in the description. Message her that the singing competition is here and go
Yes,
participate
I
in
will
that.
be there.
I want to listen her singing for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, another one. If you could hold a workshop anywhere in the world, if you get a
Okay.
chance to do that,
Mm-hmm.
where it would be and why would you want to hold over there?
Oh my God. Can it be multiple workshops?
One that come to your
Oh,
mind after thinking of the question.
it would be nice to go back to my roots and see what where my parents lived and how that culture was. And I've never been to Kashmir, despite being a Kashmiri Pandit. It would be nice to kind of go back into Kashmir, and there's a lot of culture out there that I still haven't explored. So a workshop with the arts, or even a simple conversation circle with the Kashmiris out there would be a great opportunity for me. And I'm actually hoping that one day I would get the opportunity of going there and yeah,
I would say
exploring.
like yeah, doing a dance workshop in Kashmir would be like
Yeah, like
very
behind, the mountains and
yeah.
the beautiful landscape. Yeah, it would be
People would
beautiful.
love to travel in Kashmir, but doing a dance workshop in Kashmir would be like something very amazing
Sure,
and like
yes.
yeah. Okay, another one is like your what's the most memorable moment you had while hosting your dance workshop or art workshop? Any particular incident that happened that you'd like to share?
There have been many memorable events that have stayed with me, like making routines with my other friend choreographers and my other artist friends, or being in a music studio and making a music for the production that you'd be performing on. I think that's been very liberating, because when you enter a studio, you kind of find there's so much that you could do, so you feel very powerful, you feel in control, and you feel you could be on top of the world, like SRK would say. But yes, I think one of the most, I mean, there are many, but I think the most fun I've had in studio or while doing workshop is when I'm making a routine, either by myself or in collaboration with other artists, because that entire, whatever, an hour journey is very
Is
liberating.
but any particular moment or incident where you had a conversation with maybe a person who came to your like workshop and that just stuck to you is like, oh, that's like something
Yeah.
that
There was actually this one class that I was taking, and there was this couple that came in, and we were doing salsa, I think. And they already knew salsa. They were a Spanish couple. Um, and they came in, and I was teaching them basic salsa. That was a beginner class. But they came in and they said, well, like this was a great experience, and I've never had this opportunity of performing in front of people. We've done salsa at home and in parties, but on in a studio where people are looking at you in front of the mirror, it was really nice, and it was something that stayed with them. And then recently, when I just graduated, I was working on my final project, and they somehow reached out to me, and they connected with me and asking if I'm still having those classes around here. So it's these little moments that, remind you that,
that reminds you is
yeah,
like
your
people
existence
still
sometimes
remember
means.
that I definitely agree with you. And
Yeah.
I also have couple incidents where like I just started my journey on Instagram. I started posting videos every day, and like one day like very random person reached like I was just standing with, and they suddenly was like, oh, I have seen your videos and they were amazing. And I was like, that was the boost that like I
Yeah.
was like, no matter like how many people watch the video, but one random person said to me he watched it, I was like, that meant the world to me. Is like
Yeah.
anything you want to share before we end the session, is like you want to tell people like anything you want to share to the newcomers who actually wanted to ever do dance but end up
Oh,
not
yeah.
doing it, or anything related to the adult education that you want to like give a message about, like feel free to
Oh, very heavy. But I think for older adults, it's important that if you have a parent or a grandparent who you think has been in the house for way too long, get them out of there. It's important that you tell them that there is a lot of opportunities that are created for them, or that they can create, and a lot from which they can find happiness. So it's important that one little push um, would be the most essential part in making them more out there. So that would be for the older adults. But for anybody who is an artist, or somebody who likes any kind of performing arts or any kind of arts, keep trying and keep failing at it, because I think the more you explore, and arts is so broad that there's no right or wrong for it. It's about what works for you. For some people it may be relatable, for the others it may not, but let's not go into that dynamic. So just keep exploring your art, meet people who are artists. That's It's like a self talk to myself, but also for anybody out there. Keep meeting more artist friends or artists in your community. Also try and step out from your comfort zone. So if you've just been doing dance for a while, try to connect with a painter, or a musician. um, and yeah, just see where that would take you. Sometimes art will surprise you in ways that you never thought it would, and you would end up yeah, feeling very proud of yourself, I guess.
I can see the emotions as where you feel that how actually it changed your life.
Yeah.
And if anyone has to reach out to you for your dance workshop, I would love you to like tell people as how they can reach out to you if they want any dance classes from you or
For
anything.
sure. First of all, thank you for that, Lakshay. Appreciate that.
Uh,
But yes, if anyone wants to learn dance of not any style, because I don't know all styles, but yes, Bollywood or jazz, contemporary hip hop. I do workshops every Sunday. For now, it's in House of Eights and it happens in the morning. If that time and the space works for you, please feel free to reach out to me. You can drop me a message on Instagram and we can connect and we can create more art together.
I feel like I need to learn some art as well now.
You
Like
should
I'm very
come.
much not exploring anything at the moment, and I'm very bad at dance, so I feel like I need some
Everybody
moves to learn.
has, honestly, everyone has their groove and their move. It's just about letting loose. And it does take time. I understand that. But once you get it, you would love it.
But yeah, no, definitely. And I do mention her details in the description. So just feel free to reach out to her anytime. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or any queries. And yeah, it has been amazing talking with you. Thank
Thank
you a
you.
lot for coming. It was really like nice learning curve. I learned a lot, and adult education was the best part that I got out of this conversation. Like I think like people should explore more about those factors. To sit down with your parents, talk about those factors, and like see what they feel like love doing, and like push them to do, because this is also the right age to explore things for them. It's never too late. And just tell them to like, because I feel like once they don't have anything to do, that
Right.
also affects their health as well. So it's
Yeah.
not always like mental health or
Mm-hmm.
like things they have lost, but it also like give good push to their mental health and physical health. So just
Mm-hmm.
try to make them active. Tell them not to like, always the best thing is not to push your parents to go to gym, because like
Oh,
now
yeah.
the younger like kids wants their parents to go gym
Yeah.
to be
They don't
active.
want to sweat that much.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
do
Just
that.
tell them to do the favorite activities that they loved. And yeah, it's an amazing podcast session. Thank you for so
Thank
coming.
you so much for the opportunity and for giving me this space to talk. But yes, something that you are doing is great, and I hope you keep doing more content. And it's a great way to encourage newcomers, I feel, and not just newcomers, but the community. So good luck. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Madhulika, for your kind words. And if you find our content valuable, don't forget to subscribe her and also check out her Instagram. And if you want any details about dancing, reach out to her. Subscribe to her channel because we are coming up with more updates. Stay tuned.